Jai Ganesha Deva. So Ganesh represents the beginning and the end of the man's journey. You know, Shiva and Shakti is the energy and the consciousness of the universe, right? We say that. And it exists within us, right? Now, Lord Ganesha was born out of Maa Shakti. You know, Parbatee created him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So within our body, Maa is working within us to create Ganesha in a way.
Yes.
To create what Ganesha also represents. You see, that is why in that story, Shiva wasn't there when he was created. It was Maa Shakti who created, because Shiva is the consciousness, and what is happening in our body is Maa Shakti is working within us. You see, Maa Shakti is working in us and changing our inside. So Ganesh is worshipped in the beginning, remember?
In the beginning.
Because why? Because we want to know what our end result should be. So like if I tell you that, you know, you're working towards something, you want to know what the end product would be, right? So then I have to say, well, we want that end product out of our sadhana. So in a way, he is worshipped because you want to be like Lord Ganesha, because he represents the enlightened man. See, the enlightened man is full of wisdom. So the trunk of the elephant means wisdom, right? You know that one. It means an elephant is wise, and an elephant never forgets, right? So Lord Ganesha never forgets because he is all wise, right? And he never grows. He remains like a child.
Yes.
Right? Because it's the end product. So you can't grow to be a big person because he represents the enlightened man. The big belly represents kumbhak. Like when a yogi does that, they develop a big belly. And I'll give you examples. Neem Karoli Baba, under that blanket, he had a big belly. Nityananda Baba, he had a big belly, right? There was in Swami Yogananda's book, I forget the name of the guru, but the one he met, who was his guru's guru or somebody in that lineage, he had a very big belly. They don't eat food to get a big belly, right? It represents in yoga the retention of the breath. So this enlightened person now, you know, they are like that in that state. So lots of people have a big belly. Like Ritu's guru Mohandas, he had a big belly also. I'm sure if Sadhguru take out the clothes, he probably pushing a belly too. So, you know, so this is part of a natural process in yoga that happens when you start breathing differently and the energy goes up into the head. Because I would sometimes had a big belly and it was so uncomfortable. So I would try to get it down, you know, but it's a different way that the body begins to breathe, right? So because it's intense energy that's working in the system, you need ladhu. You need instant energy. Wow. So you need the laddu because that has more, like if you eat in sweet rice, this has more in it, more strength, sure. Right?
Okay.
So you need the ladhu because so much changes is going on. I remember when I looked at the, you know, they had the Puranas on TV. They would show you Lord Ganesha writing the book. So who writes the book? An enlightened being writes the Puranas, writes writes the books, writes the scripture. So we call them um, gurus and acharyas and those names that they give for like Vashishta and all these ancient gurus. They have the name for it, right? Because they are enlightened beings who bring the knowledge in these different ways. So in a way, Ganesha is the one who is giving you the wisdom, giving you the knowledge, and he has been molded from the Shakti itself. You see? And he doesn't grow any bigger because he's enlightened. But why he's enlightened also? Because what they say, his wife is Riddhi and Siddhi. What is Riddhi and Siddhi? Those are the powers, right? Siddhis are the Siddhis, and Riddhis is also something like that. I forgot what you call it in English, but Riddhi and Siddhi is his two wives. So that accompanies the enlightened being, where they have these powers. And he is the son of God. He's the son of Shiv Shakti. So he is like the son of God, right? So these are all things of Lord Ganesha that people don't look at, but in a way they begin their sadhana by worshipping him first and in a puja, right? But they don't understand how they are doing that to become enlightened one day, to have the Shakti recreate their body. Because Shiva represents what? Transformation. And who transforms us? His Shakti. And his Shakti creates the enlightened man. See? You see the connection there?
Wow.
So he also represents that. But because we have been worshipping him for so long, he exists now. He exists as a real entity in the cosmos. So that's why there are miracles associated with Lord Ganesha. But the truth of Lord Ganesha is that he represents the enlightened being. Ladhu doesn't get his belly that big. Why would his belly be that big? See, Neem Karoli Baba and these people, they eat little bit of food.
A little bit.
So I know Satya Sai Baba probably had a big belly, but you can't see it under the robe. As they get older, it's more prevalent. But in women, I think it's a little different in women. But if you look, the men and them, they do turn out with a big belly because of the retention of the breath. That happens. You start breathing differently, not like normal. You breathe in a different way. So that is some of the significance that nobody has talked about. But that is what I see when I see Lord Ganesha, because he's the beginning and the end process. So, because that's what the people do, right? They start off that. But see, it all has to do who is doing that. Who has created Ganesha? Maa Shakti.
Wow. She
Out of
created
her
him
own body.
out of her own body.
So out of her own body, she's moving and shaping the universe out of, because she represents the energy of the cosmos, right? So everything is moving, forming, shaping with the Shakti. So this is like in man, in a way, that is how he was born. I mean, they have that story about him cutting off, getting his neck cut off and all of that, So that is just stories and stuff, But it could be, maybe it could be a reality, but basically, because there are different realities, different dimension and different realities, different universes. So what we have to know is that this is what Lord Ganesha represents. We have to become like that. Because which God represents the enlightened being? Only the Guru represents that. right? But the guru is a different guru all the time. You know, this one is the guru, that one is the guru, as everybody becomes like Lord Ganesha, and they become the enlightened man with wisdom, with wisdom and knowledge and all of that, right? So, in a way, he holds, I don't know what he holds, but we probably hold the books and whatnot, you know, because we do worship him for knowledge. You know, they say he's good for knowledge and wisdom. So an enlightened being has knowledge and wisdom. You know, like Shri Krishna, he's not worshipped as that. He's worshipped as the God himself, right? But with a different nature. With as small as love. We worship him as love. The love of Krishna and Radha. So in that aspect, we worship that part of ourselves, that part of God, that we want to enhance our love. So he's more like that, right? But he also creates the Gita, which is total wisdom, because he represents the avatar, whereas Ganesh represents the enlightened man, you know. So each you know, each thing, if you think about it, it all boils down to the process that is happening within us. Yeah. So I don't know about the things he's holding, but I'm sure they have significance. And if you go on the internet, they probably have, you know, what is what and all of that, you know.